is actually in Hawaii with a family matter. So I'm kind of pinch hitting for him today. A little bit about my background. Many of you know me, and we have had a strong relationship over the last several years. For those of you that don't know me, I am a 40-year businessman. I started a business back when I was 20 years old, SR Walker & Company, and we just closed that business in 2012. So that was a 40-year business that I personally was involved in. I've since served as Vice President of Miller O'Neill Incorporated and one of the founding members of Floor Source Direct. I just recently retired, so I'm no longer involved in any commercial endeavors. My background, as many of you know, has got an extensive background in politics. I have an extensive background in philanthropy. I have an extensive background in organizations, of which the Sons and Daughters is our most recent one. And so let me talk a little bit about Sons and Daughters so you get a little bit of a perspective what we're trying to do with the Sons and Daughters of Cambodia. Sons and Daughters of Cambodia is an international group established in 2015 with one specific mission, and that is to develop a relationship between Cambodian communities outside of Cambodia with communities inside of Cambodia. And so the objective here is, as a 501c3, we cannot get involved directly in politics. So we are forbidden by law, by U.S. law, to get involved directly in American politics or in Cambodian politics. So what we can do is, through a humanitarian effort, through education, and through our network of partners, can affect change in Cambodia through the influences that we bring to the table throughout our sister communities. So as an example, Long Beach, California might develop a relationship with the southern suburbs of Phnom Penh. St. Paul would develop a relationship with Battambang. Lowell, Massachusetts would develop a relationship with Paden, and so on and so forth. And so as we develop that relationship, one community with another, the big brother, which would be the American or the international chapter, would find out what the needs of their smaller or sister community is. So if it's healthcare, if it's education, if it's a variety of different things, your relationship with that particular community would be found out, and then we would directly be able to help that community. As we develop our organization, we bring in partners from different communities, and so if we have, if Battambang is having an issue with healthcare, and St. Paul does not have a strong community of healthcare workers in there, we find out through our network who does have, and so we would encompass their expertise in helping the people in Battambang. So that is something that we have started in 2016. We're a year old now. My experience, business experience, my political experience, and with Boun experience, NGO experience in Cambodia, we think we have a very, very strong partnership that we can do some significant improvements in Cambodia. Part of that process, part of our mission is education. And being a businessman in America, I know how important policy is in impacting my business. And so it is incumbent upon a businessman to have a strong relationship with his political entities in his city. So most of our businessmen know who the mayor is, who the city council is, and so forth. And so this is something that we are trying to foster within our communities here in the United States. As an example, with our veterans, for the last 3 years we have a resolution, and we have garnered all of our veterans in all the different communities in the United States and in Europe and in Australia to help pass a resolution. The resolution by itself doesn't mean a lot, other than the fact that it recognizes their service during the Vietnam War. But the point is that we're teaching our veterans how to organize their communities, how to lobby and advocate for themselves, how how to teach their communities on how to benefit and how to develop relationships in the United States, and eventually we will teach how to do that in Cambodia. We think that is how you strengthen Cambodia. Personally, I feel very strongly that both parties in Cambodia have failed. The CPP and the CNRP both have let down the people of Cambodia. And there's a variety of reasons for that. So something energetic must be done to educate the population of Cambodia of what the possibilities are. I think it is now 30% of all of the Cambodians are now under the age of 30. So you have a very, very young population in Cambodia, all yearning for the same thing. They want freedom, they want economic development, they want to become a part of the world community. And so as a community, and what you have here specifically, you have all the heads of the NGOs in the United States. Your role, I believe, is to teach that next second generation of their value, of what they can do, and then working within the parameters of the Constitution. And we can get into the Constitution of PPA if you want to discuss that. But within those framework, you will have a better opportunity of changing things in Cambodia. Cambodians are ready, without question. That was demonstrated in 2013 when hundreds of thousands of Cambodians took the streets of Phnom Penh. And I think the CNRP at that moment had a great opportunity. They were on the streets for 9 months straight with huge demonstrations. And the only problem that they had was that the world community wasn't focused on Cambodia at that time. But because of the longevity of those demonstrations, the world began to focus back on Cambodia. At that moment, the current administration struck a deal with the CNRP, and they stopped the demonstrations, and they settled for what I thought was a very poorly administered or result. And so the world's attention went off to something else. So those are the moments that we've had in Cambodia, and those are missed opportunities. And much of that is perhaps because of the leadership of both parties. I think that you should consider very seriously, what is your objective? What do you want for Cambodia? Okay, is it attainable? Number one, but it has to be well defined. If you want a Cambodia that's similar to the United States, then you must study the United States, know our Constitution, and compare our Constitution with their Constitution. And if there's similarities, you combine them. If there's not, then you have to adjudicate those things. If you want something different, if you want a kingdom, if you want to go back to the Sihanouk days and back to the Sitawat days and whatnot, then that is the well-defined mission that you want, and you must study that, and you must see if that's attainable, and you must go to that resolution. But you are in the driver's seat, okay? Each one of you and your organizations that you represent. Our coalition is organizing all Cambodians and now friends of Cambodia. Because of our resolution, we came very, very close last year getting it passed. We had all the votes necessary, but because of our lack of relationship with the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, we weren't able to get that resolution into the committee and get it passed. But since then, now our coalition is beginning to get bigger, because now we are soliciting and we are now getting help from our U.S. veterans, U.S. Army, former CIA agents, Air America pilots. All of these people are now beginning to come and help us achieve our goals. So we have something that we want to achieve. We're building a coalition in order to strengthen our ability to get that objective done. And we will do it. It will take a long time, perhaps, maybe not. It depends on us, basically. It depends on our ability to come together, build coalitions, and work on a specific and a targeted mission. Our coalition now, the Veterans Coalition, now has Lao NGOs working with us. We have U.S. veterans, Navy, American, CIA agencies. We have Korean, we have Khmer, and we have Australian, and we're working on Thai. So putting all those communities together, working on one specific objective, we think we can pull this off. But at the same time, we're teaching everybody else how to organize, how to affect change, and how to advocate for each other. So I'm looking forward to conversation, and Moderator, please take over. Take this away from me now.
Okay. But thank you very much. And